up the ramp. I'm gonna drop an RD on them.
Artillery strike online.
Already dropped.
Artillery strike
It's at the
activated.
corner.
Yeah, we got one on us too, looks like.
Artillery strike online.
The last RD.
Artillery strike
I don't think I'm winning those
activated.
trades. I heard him though. Yeah, so we'll just wait for him.
Yeah. I'm gonna go to thermal mode. It's easier to see them when they're shooting at me.
Sure.
Enemy forces at 75%. The jaws of defeat are closing in around us.
Heat sink destroyed. Major torso critical damage.
Ouch.
Response. This is Clan Command.
Nice try.
It was a
Respond.
nice try though. It's a good death.
We fought well.
I'm trying to make this build work, but I really hate this mech. Hello, Mech Warriors. Today, I'm doing a review of the legendary Dreadnought, and I call this Dread. And I finally came up with a good build for this after trying several different things. I even took some advice from some people, but I just couldn't find something that I really liked, and I finally did, and this works really well as a brawler and brawling matches. I don't know why it works exactly, but it seems to. So let me show you the overall build. By the way, what do you think of this paint scheme? This is the original paint scheme that comes with this, and I'm using my own colors, obviously. And when you go through the legendary online on the website, and you add all the little toys you get for playing the map, you end up with all these extra little toys as well. And you also can get some war horns and stuff, but I already picked my own. And I think I came up with a pretty good overall build that works really well for this. I tried doing the TTV build with the 3 UX-20s, and no matter what I did, it was just always too hot. I just couldn't get it the way I wanted it to work, the way I wanted it. So let me show you my build. So I'm running 3 LBX-20s. And I'm also running a plasma cannon here. I originally had a pair of small pulse lasers and then a flamer in here, but it just was always too hot. And I always would forget that the flamer was actually on. So I just decided to go with the plasma cannon because it gives me some additional damage on the front end. And it also fires just a little bit faster. Let's go in and take a look at the meat and potatoes. So we have a heat management of 1.67, which is really good considering the amount of damage this does. This has a firepower of 65, speed of 57.2, and there are no jump jets on board. This is a legendary mech, so it does have some other bonus items on here. So chassis C-build bonus plus 30, yay. You get an extra consumable slot, and you get an extra strategic strike capacity. So that is a nice feature there, and I definitely take advantage of that. I have 2 artillery strikes on board and a cool shot. Not that I need the cool shot, but sometimes it does happen, and I get hot enough that I need it. Coming back over, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 tons of ammo. Obviously, the plasma doesn't need any ammo. We're running an XL300. We're running ferrofibrous and standard, but with double heat sinks. And then we have 2 double heat sinks in the engine here itself, and that's what keeps this working really well. Also, there's no room anywhere else really to put it. You could put one there, but that's it. As far as armor goes, I had to strip 2 armor out of each one of the legs, or 2 here, 3 here, excuse me, and then 3 out of the head. But otherwise, I got this to work. Remember, this is only an 85-ton mech, and it's delivering this kind of damage, which is really, really nice. I feel like the 85-ton is really kind of a lightweight, but when I go up against 100-ton mechs, I've actually put several of them in the ground with this build. You do have to remember to twist away but in between shots. You don't want to just face tank because you're going to be waiting a little bit of time. Now, when you come here and take a look at the cooldown, I've got cooldown maxed out, so I've got heat reduction on the fire, which is normally 4, and I've got a 0.336 reduction on the heat there. And then on cooldown time is 4 seconds, and then I also have a 0.394 reduction on that. So that's going to help me get that extra cooldown time to get it to be able to fire more often. And how I operate it is I chain fire all 4 of these weapons. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I do is I have it set up on the weapons this way. So I can do an alpha strike with all 4 of the weapons on button 3. And then it's chain fire on buttons 1 and 2. So whatever order they're in. So if I push button 1 and 2 at the same time, 1 and 2 will fire, and then 1 and 2 will fire. And this gives me just that extra little umph. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Well, you've got all these energy weapons on board. You could do 2 energy here, 1 energy in the head, 1 in each one of the arms, and then you also get 4 ballistic points on this. Believe me, I tried all of it. I tried PPCs, I tried plasma cannons, I tried heavy, large lasers. I tried it all. It just runs way too hot for a good brawling build. You don't have a lot of range on this build. The range on this is 360 optimum, which is, it gets a little bit extra on top of that for the optimum range, but not by much. These do strike out as far as 720, or excuse me, yeah, 720, but they're not going to do a lot of damage at that range. So I just try to think of things in terms of about 400 meters is where I really want to max out at. And the reason is because these here have an optimum range of 540. So to me, anything that's inside that 400 meters, which is actually a lot further away than you think, is what I really strive to fire upon. You can do this a different way where you have the 2 LB20s here, and you skip this out, and you put 2 LB10s in here. And that also works well, but the thing that I ran into is it just wasn't delivering as much damage as I really wanted it to. And remember, these also produce heat damage to the mech that you're firing upon. So when we come into the skills tree, I maxed out on cooldown. I just had 1 left over, honestly, and I just felt like it was more useful to put it to range than it was to do it into velocity. Maxed out on heat generation. I added more ammo and tighter spread for the LB20s. Maxed out on survivability, so skeletal density, armor hardening, reinforced casing, and overheat damage protection. That 1.67 sounds great, but believe me, it gets hot. Especially when you're being fired upon and if somebody is using like a plasma or a flamer. Overheat protection in the form of cool run and heat containment. Seismic sensor all the way maxed out. They did something recently to the seismic sensor and it's not as good as it used to be, but it still does seem to work pretty well. And then, as I mentioned before, I wanted to get the full artillery capabilities. So I'm taking advantage of what I can there as far as in that regard. Anyway, I hope you like this build and the matches coming up. And this makes a really good brawler. I recommend it highly. I was really skeptical about this. I even considered selling it, and then I realized, oh, you can't sell it. But with the features all set up, this is definitely a formidable build on the battlefield. The only thing I wish it had was if it had a ballistic over here on the left torso. That would have been sick. So you have a ballistic here and a ballistic there, kind of like the way the Blight is. So I would have liked to have seen a Marauder IIC Blight-ish build. That would have been really cool. Yeah, we got eyes on them over there.
Artillery strike online.
I'm gonna sneak in behind them, hopefully.
Target acquired. Artillery strike activated.
Wanks has got the railgun. Be careful.
Artillery strike online. Artillery strike activated.
Enemy forces at 75%. The jaws of defeat are closing in around us.
Torso critical damage. Enter torso critical damage. Heat sink destroyed.
Headshot.
Respond.
Yeah, Wanks is a formidable player. At least I got a kill. Waiting for the arty strikes to kick in. Seconds.
Artillery strike online. Artillery strike activated. Target acquired. Artillery strike online.
There's the last one on the ramp.
Activated.
Affirmative.
New target acquired.
Right torso on that Stalker, I think it was. I love it when a plan comes together. Finally got a good build for this mech.